Fala, gurizada! Bora tomar um cafezinho? Para quem não sabe, eu sou o David, sou investidor de criptomoedas. Se é novo no canal, seja muito bem-vindo. Se inscreva, deixe esse like, bora fortalecer a família do café. Gurizada, vamos para a segunda parte da Ripple Swell, das notícias que a gente conseguiu achar. Um conferente conseguiu entrar e fazer umas gravações e divulgar informações. A Ripple Swell esse ano está muito fechada. Nós vamos também ter notícias da LavaCripto nos Estados Unidos e uma capa nova da The Economist, falando de criptomoedas. Então, reforçando, deixa esse like aí e vamos estudar esse projeto top que está na minha área, Ripple XRP. Gurizada, essa aqui seria a segunda parte lá da Ripple Swell, tá? Informações muito fechadas lá, mas a gente conseguiu dar um jeito e achar notícias falando do assunto.
Muita gente...
Hi, it's Nick Beer.
Eu vou ativar aqui as configurações. Muito grato por esse cidadão ter conseguido fazer isso. Esse ano está bem complicado. A Ripple Swell nunca foi, sempre foi de fácil acesso. E esse ano a Ripple adotou uma tática diferente. A gente não sabe o que está acontecendo nos bastidores, mas alguma coisa esse ano está prometendo, gurizada. Isso aí já é fato. A gente está vendo que está diferente aí as coisas com a Ripple e o mercado de criptomoedas e tal, e os governos. Então vamos ver a segunda parte aqui dessa reportagem que ele fez lá na Ripple Swell. Cara, eu vou aumentar um pouquinho a velocidade. Já tá aumentado. Vamos ver o que ele postou lá. Bora pro vídeo. Play.
Fato, Director of Member Investments at Link2. Day 2 of Swell. It's been a fantastic day. Most of today has been about different use cases for the XRP ledger, for XRP itself, and all about regulation. So I'd love to share with you what I learned today, and I'm going to read through my notes, share it with you, share some pictures, share some videos, and I hope you all enjoy it. Have a fantastic day.
Maybe the format of it is going to look different, but will we have a digital tab at some point? For sure.
You started GateHub, it's been 8 years ago.
Yeah.
If you were to start GateHub today, would you still have chosen to build on XRP?
Yeah, for sure. Now, at the time, it was a little bit different because there wasn't any other blockchain that enabled you to have other tokenized assets other than Bitcoin, right? So XRP Ledger was actually launched before Ethereum and before you had all these tokens and protocols and smart contracts on Ethereum. And unlike Ethereum, it was always designed to be a decentralized exchange and a way to do cross-border payment. So to me, that was like, for sure, the most exciting thing about the potential usage of a blockchain technology.
So if I hold oil or if I hold mortgage-backed securities or I hold cash, Basel will essentially set a standard about how I need to risk weight that, what cash I need to have off my balance sheet. That's a recommendation that individual banking and financial regulators can then use as guidance to impose upon their institution.
IREMIT is a 100% Filipino-owned.
Ele tá fazendo os melhores momentos lá que ele viu, tá?
With this collaboration with Ripple, we have already also opened new corridors, particularly in Poland and Norway. And also we have been able to expand our market reach in countries where we have already been existing or been operational, like Australia, UAE, and the UK. Ripple's on-demand liquidity platform is able to eliminate the pre-funding or advanced funding requirement, as it allows our partners to settle in real time. There's a big incentive for counterparties to connect with Ripple and IREMIT through the ODL because it will not only allow them to minimize.
Isso é uma parte mais técnica da convenção, tá?
Their cost, but it will also allow them to improve on their payout capabilities by utilizing the extensive payout network of IREMIT. Instead of waiting for the funds to come in through the ODL, we're able to really receive the money fast and also be able to pay out the money fast. With our collaboration with Ripple, we are able to reduce the cost to our customers by more than 50%.
All right, so let me tell you about the day-to-day at Swell. It started out, that was Alex Manson is from...
Agora ele tá fazendo o roteiro que foi na Ripple Swell, no segundo dia.
SC Ventures, Standard Chartered Ventures, and he talked about, really overall, his talk was the fact that digital assets are here to stay, and people need to embrace
Essa palestra desse senhor veio dizer que os digitais, as criptomoedas eram para ficar e precisam ser adotados.
And they're part of our future. And he talked about, how he saw the future in digital assets. So that was interesting to hear from him. And we also heard from Sue Friedman on UK crypto regulations. She was actually the moderator.
Regulamento de criptografia no Reino Unido. Teve um cara falando lá, foi o Sue Friedman.
Jess Hallgrave from a company called Checkout.com. It's a payments company. She sat on the panel and she said that the UK is making, and I quote, noise about being a fintech crypto hub, but they really haven't given the clarity that's needed and they need to regulate activity, not technology, was her big point.
Eles querem regular a atividade cripto, não a tecnologia, tá?
To go after...
Muito importante, dando liberdade para o pessoal poder criar
the bad actors and not go after the technology. So that was the big point she was making. She also said that when asked who's doing it right, and she just felt like Singapore is doing it right, they're embracing digital assets. She thought Dubai is doing a great job over there. She said crypto isn't bad, it's just the bad actors are bad. It's not crypto itself. Jess is assisting Bank of England with their
Referindo-se ao CEO da FTX, tá?
CBDC as an advisor, so she's involved with them and that, and
Tá ajudando a Inglaterra a criar sua CBDC como uma
she
consultora.
expects to see a digital pound. She did not give a timeline,
Libra
but she
digital.
said she totally expects to see it happen. Oh, I did bump into Naveen Gupta. I had an opportunity to meet him in Singapore a couple years ago. He's just great. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Naveen's. He's an amazing speaker, and he's got this incredible calmness and confidence about him. He's still expecting to put a dent in the university, told me, calmly, of course, because that's just his style. But Naveen Gupta is something else, and he's a real asset to Ripple. And it's just great to see these rock-solid Ripple investors still with Ripple, staying with Ripple and riding this thing through. So it's really, really cool. There was a panel on the tokenization of assets, which is something that interests me extremely.
Cada tema tinha um painel avisando os conferentes qual seria a próxima palestra, tá? Os assuntos. Por exemplo, o nome, o tema e as pessoas envolvidas, tá?
You know, they touched on some different things. There were some different companies up there talking about the things that they were doing in tokenizing assets. And you know, I have a personal belief that most of our assets will be tokenized in the future. In fact, I think somebody threw out a number that 10% of, I think it was 10% of GDP will be completely tokenized by 2027. But anyway, they were talking about how one of the companies was tokenizing music, another company was tokenizing educational degrees, diplomas, another one was doing real estate tokenization. But they were all building on the XRPL. So all of these companies are building these exciting new companies on the XRPL. You know, look, a lot of different companies are going to try a lot of different things. There's going to be winners, there's going to be losers, but it's great to see tokenization is a fantastic opportunity for people to get liquidity and not have to sell, whether it's property or anything else. So it's really, really cool. Stuart Alderati actually sat as a moderator on a panel with a gentleman named Scott O'Melia. Scott is the CEO of IDSA. That's the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. Their slogan is Safe, Effective Markets. So he's involved in regulations. They discussed international regulations. They said that international
Regulamentos
regulations are
internacionais.
being discussed for digital assets and are expecting the Basel recommendations in the next week. And Basel is the BIS, the Bank of
Próxima semana.
International Settlements, and they offer the regulatory framework for banks. So that's expected to come down the next week, which is going to be interesting what they offer the international community. So I really
Tá vendo que ele tá frisando que nas próximas semanas os bancos estão para divulgar uma regulação internacional? É isso que eu entendi, cara. Por isso que a Apple Swell tá tão fechada, cara. Que sempre foi um evento aberto, sempre. Ano passado rodou ao vivo no YouTube.
enjoyed that. Scott also mentioned he used to work with Gary Gensler at the CFTC, and Stuart Alderati was obviously not impressed. He was right up the middle about Gary. He was very complimentary of Gary and said Gary did a great job there. But when Stuart asked Scott what is his opinion of the SEC's case or their case against digital assets, or should they be regulating digital assets, Scott wasn't touching it. He would not give his opinion whether or not he thinks Gary should be responsible for digital assets. So he wouldn't go there. Wasn't something he wanted to talk about. You could just tell that Stuart Alderati had a lot to say and he just didn't want to get into it, but you could just see it was on his mind.
Cara era amigo, colega do Gary Gensler, ele não quis opinar sobre o processo, tá?
And something that he wanted to discuss. I also got to meet Sandy Young, and she's the managing director of Europe. She was actually host for the whole Swell event. She was fantastic, just so nice to talk to. Hope to speak with her in the future because we did get cut off. She had to go run and jump back on stage, but very nice. And she's obviously doing a fantastic job over there in Europe. So that's really it, guys. That's it. I mean, Swell's a wrap this year, and all of my interaction with Ripple executives tell me that they are absolutely 100% confident the SEC case is going to end in their favor.
Estão confiantes do caso, tá?
All of their customers I spoke with,
eles deram esse sentimento pro pessoal na Ripple Swell.
Who are already using ODL don't even care as far as about the SEC case. They're doing their own thing in their own markets. They couldn't care less. And those that are waiting to use ODL were extremely optimistic for a favorable outcome. So listen, we appreciate all of our investing members.
Cara, bacana. E olha só a quantidade de pessoas que acompanharam essa notícia da Ripple Swell. 166 curtidas, tá? Então, gente, somos privilegiados sim, pessoal. Te admiro pela teu interesse nesse assunto tão importante que poucas pessoas na população mundial têm interesse. Então, sim, a gente estamos um passo à frente. Gurizada, outra informação. Olha a capa que saiu no ECONOMIST. The Economist. Cryptos Downfall. Vamos ver o que significa. Tradutor. Cara, eu não sou fluente em inglês, tá? Então a gente manja aqui, dá uma arranhada, mas a gente tenta sempre ver. Deixa eu ver como é que é o texto. Cryptos Downfall, tá? criptos e bom, a queda das criptos seria que está chegando no planeta Terra, uma nova época. Interessante a capa da The Economist. E eles sim fazem umas coisas muito loucas, desde a capa de 1988 lá, né, até agora. Vamos ver então. Gurizada, falando disso, Operação Lavacripto tá pegando nos Estados Unidos. Eu consegui achar uma tradução daqueles vídeos que a gente postou, dos primeiros vídeos, que seriam o quê? James Comer está uma investigação sobre Joe Biden. Os negócios da família incluem desde tráfico de seres humanos até potenciais violações da Constituição. Então, vamos ver aqui. Deixa eu maximizar a tela. Bora pro vídeo play.
This investigation will be a top priority.
Já começou a investigação, só para estar atento. Aqui eles não estão falando tanto das questões da cripto, sim, mais pro lado de política. Mas esse vídeo aqui sim tem a ver com a questão da FTX e o caso de corrupção.
We are releasing a report today that details what we have uncovered. We are also sending letters to the Biden administration officials and Biden family associates renewing our request for voluntary production of documents relevant to this investigation. This is an investigation.
Eles já solicitaram para fornecer esses documentos. Se eles não fornecerem, eles vão começar a investigar ainda mais.
Of Joe Biden, the President of the United States, and why he lied to the American people about his knowledge and participation in his family's international business schemes. National security interests require the committee conduct investigation, and we will pursue all avenues that have long been ignored. Committee Republicans have uncovered evidence of federal crimes committed by and to the benefit of members of the president's family.
Eles já conseguiram achar pistas de crimes da família dele, tá? Conspiração ou fraude nos Estados Unidos e fraude eletrônica.
These include conspiracy or defrauding the United States, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, violation of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, violations of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, tax evasion, money laundering.
Presta atenção nisso aqui, evasão fiscal e lavagem de dinheiro por meio de criptos, tá? Eles falam e vão lá e fazem. E tá envolvido com aquela corretora e aquele cara lá, tá? O Sam.
Laundering and conspiracy to commit money laundering. The Biden family's business dealings implicate a wide range of criminality from human trafficking to potential violations of the Constitution. In the 118th Congress, this committee will evaluate the status of Joe Biden's relationship with his family's foreign partners and whether he is a president who is compromised or swayed by foreign dollars and influence. I want to be clear. This is an investigation of Joe Biden, and that's where the committee will focus in this next Congress.
Tá vendo? Tá pegando. O bicho tá pegando. Então a gente vai aguardar aí por mais evidências, mas pro cara vir em rede nacional e falar isso abertamente, ele deve ter fatos muito importantes que eles conseguiram checar. Gurizada, esse foi um cafezinho rápido, dinâmico, aquele cafezinho mais para te estar por dentro do que está acontecendo. Falamos de Ripple Swell, sobre a capa da The Economist e esse vídeo da Operação Lavacriptos que eu apelidei. Espero que tu tenha curtido. Hoje foi sábado, fizemos 3 cafezinhos. Agradeço aí tua companhia nos estudos. Se inscreva e vamos somar com a família do café. Valeu, gurizada. Até o próximo cafezinho. Fechou?